Reading from the Gospel of Luke. Now the festival of unleavened bread, which is called the Passover, was near. The chief priests and the scribes were looking for a way to put Jesus to death, for they were afraid of the people. Then Satan entered Judas, called Iscariot, who was one of the 12. He went away and conferred with the chief priests and officers of the temple police about how he might betray him to them. They were greatly pleased and agreed to give him money. So he consented and began to look for an opportunity to betray him to them, when no crowd was present. Then came the day of the unleavened bread, on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. When the hour came, he took his place at table, and the apostles with him. And Jesus then said to them, I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I tell you, I will not eat it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God. Then he took a cup, and after giving thanks, he said, Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I tell you that from now on I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God comes. Then he took a loaf of bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it, and he gave it to them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. And he did the same thing with the cup after supper, saying, This cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood. But see, the one who betrays me is with me, and his hand is on the table. For the Son of Man will be betrayed into, for the Son of Man is going as it has been determined, but woe to the one by whom he is betrayed. Then they began to ask one another which one of them it could be who would do this. Thus ends the reading of the word. The term Paschal Lamb is a term that refers to the Passover lamb. Pesach. Paschal is the word in Greek. As the passage from Exodus was read to us by Betty, we recall the night on which the Israelites left Egypt en masse, probably disrupting their entire economic system once and for all. God swept over Egypt and wreaked havoc on Pharaoh's kingdom for enslaving the Israelites and making them suffer cruel treatment under the whip of their taskmasters. But the Israelites lived in and amongst with the Egyptians. And so in order that they might be spared God's punishment on the Egyptians, all the Israelites had to do some work. They had to slaughter a 1-year-old unblemished male lamb at twilight and take some of the blood from that slaughtered lamb and paint the lintel over the door and then the doorposts on either side of the house in which they would be eating the roasted lamb with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Moses' instruction is that the blood of the lamb will be a sign to God to pass over that particular dwelling, not destroy it or bring death to anyone in that dwelling because of the sign of the lamb, because of the blood of the lamb. In other words, the Israelites were saved from death that would be levied upon the Egyptians because of the blood of the lamb. 1,000 years later, on this night of nights, Jesus of Nazareth, as was his custom, would celebrate what Luke calls the festival of unleavened bread, which is called the Passover. Luke's Jesus will partake of the meal with his disciples in the city of Jerusalem, in the room especially prepared for the celebration. Like Pharaoh keeping watch over Moses and the Israelites. The scribes and the Pharisees are those keeping watch over every movement that Jesus and his disciples make. If you remember when we read early on in this year, the chapter 2 in Luke, where Jesus has just been baptized and he goes into the wilderness and he is tempted for 40 days and nights by the adversary. And Luke tells us in verse 13 of that chapter 2, he says, when the devil had finished every test, he departed from Jesus. Can anybody remember? Until an opportunity